want to show you how to do a make one left and make one right lifted increase. I'm just going to go straight into it and it explains the whys and wherefores afterwards. So I'm going to do a make one left. So when you do a lifted increase, you are looking for the bar between the stitches. So in this case, it is this one here. If you've struggled to find it, then follow the strand on the needle and follow where it is. So it's this one here. Now, most patterns will instruct you to use your left-hand needle from front to back into that strand, and then you need to knit it through the back loop. This can be a bit tricky because the back loop is this one here, and it's a little bit tight to get into. So that's into the back loop of that strand, and then you just knit that. Now, if you've done it right, what should happen is you should have a little twist underneath and not a giant hole. If you've done this and then just knitted the front, what will happen is you'll have a large hole, and this is sort of like a yarn over, which is not necessarily what you want. So there is an easier way of doing this. What I like to do is I like to lift it up from back to front on the right hand needle, and then insert my left hand needle into the front, which is a lot easier to do than the other way, and then you just knit it. So that's the make one left. I'm going to show you how to do the make one right. So the make one right, you're normally instructed to go from back to front with your left hand needle, and then you knit this strand. So you don't knit it through here to create a hole, you knit it as if it was a normal stitch from left to right. And you just knit that like that, and it should twist at the bottom. Sometimes it can be hard to get into that stitch that way. To give yourself a little bit of extra room, roll that strand to the front of the work, giving yourself a little bit of extra room to insert your needle in. So again, roll it to the front, bring that excess to the front, insert your needle in to knit. So if you've done a make one left and right increase, and you want to make another one on the next row, it can be sometimes a little harder to see where that strand is where you need to lift. This is a double knit, so it's a bit easier to see, but if you're on a sock, it can sort of disappear on you. So if I pull this apart, you can see there's a strand there, but it often sits at the back of the work, and you can sort of see it better at the back. So it is this strand here that you need to lift up. So lifted increase is how it sounds. You are lifting a strand from below, and what that can do is it can sometimes pull on the stitches. So on the center column here, you can see some of them are bigger and some of them are smaller. So that's the downside of a lifted increase. It can slightly distort the stitches below. So there are other kinds of increases that you can use. So, and the other thing is what order you work them in. Often the pattern will tell you, but sometimes it doesn't. So in this part of the swatch, on the right hand side it is a make one right, and on the left hand side it's a make one left, and in my opinion this is the neater way of doing it. So you have that central column that is slightly big and small, but it's quite closed up here and looks quite neat. Whereas this section here is the other way around, so it's the make one left on the right hand side and the make one right on the left hand side. So what this does is these vertical strands sort of stand out more, and I think it follows that central column, and I think that's slightly less neat than the bottom one. And again here, both of these were done with a single column in between. So this one here is done with a double column in between, which can sort of alleviate the big and small stitch problem. So this has got the make one right and then the make one left. And then this top section is the other way around. It's make one left and make one right.